myself, or you know about me?
No, they need some introduction because you are new to
Okay.
them.
So I'm the new faculty, joined ECE branch, and my name is Chinmayi Dora. I have done my BTech in electronics and instrumentation, then masters in communication engineering. Then again, my PhD is in DSP signal processing area. So I worked with biomedical signal processing. So my next work is applying machine learning techniques in biomedical images and signal processing. So that's why I can just give you some briefing about machine learning before going to CNN. So do you have any idea about what is CNN?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll start from the very start. Okay, so you have heard about machine learning, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
heard the word machine learning. Okay, now whether you know the machine learning or not.
Don't know, ma'am.
Okay, so that means the first question is complete. You know, you have heard about machine learning, but you don't know machine learning, and if you know machine learning, then you can use it in the applications. So you will know about how to use the machine learning in your application, right? So I'm going to, so have you heard about artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So can you give me an example of artificial intelligence?
Fraud detection.
Which detection?
Fraud detection. Fraud.
No, give me a very day-to-day life artificial intelligence application.
Ma'am, Google Assistant.
Very good. Google Assistance. So what it does, which kind of assistance you're talking about? That Google is assisting us in too many ways. Even though we don't want it, it is assisting. So tell me, which one you're talking about? Okay, I'm talking about your in your house. In your house.
Washing machine.
Very good. Washing machine. So the washing machine nowadays we're having is using fuzzy logic. Okay, you can see it's saying fuzzy based. So it's saying that if you put some load, it will calculate what is the weight of that load, and automatically it can calculate how much water we need and what is the time, expected time it will need to wash the clothes, right? So artificial intelligence is the big set. Okay. If artificial is a big set, machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. Okay. So artificial intelligence could be spread out. It could be widely spread. It's in robotic. It's in the autopilot. If you talk about the aviation engineering, it's in mechatronics. It's almost in everything. Artificial intelligence. So machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. Okay, and the name is derived from the concept that it deals with construction and study of system that can learn from the data. What we can learn from the data, and then we can make the machine to learn from it. Okay, the data will tell what should expect next, or what we can do with it. So this is a theoretical concept. Okay, so and this theoretical concept taken shape, and we have seen various implementation. So I'm going to machine learning, and okay, so we can say what is machine learning. It's a computer program. It's said to learn from experience with some class of task and a performance measure, and if its performance at task at in T is measured by P, improves with E. Okay, so now it is something difficult thing. The computer program is saying it is learning from the experience. Okay, it is given so many tasks. Okay, say it says the task could be identify. Let's say it will learn it is a bird. It will learn all kinds of bird. Then it will learn all kinds of animals. Then after that, it will be measured that whether it can recognize the bird and the animal properly or not. And more number, if it will given only 2 birds and 2 animals, it is difficult for it to identify the bird. But if it would be the program will be learned identify 10 birds and 2 animals, it will say it can easily identify a bird. Out of those 10 birds, it can always identify the bird. Okay, so that means the performance at task T is measured by P, improves with E. Now this performance measure, I'm not talking about it right now. We'll talk about it later. Are you following me so far?
Yes, ma'am.
So in between, please respond to me and tell me whether you're able to follow or not, or if you want, I can ask me to interrupt me anytime if you don't know, I want to know what I'm talking about. Okay. So what is the terminology? What is the terms we are usually use while talking about machine learning? Okay. First thing we talk about features. Okay. Features are something which quantitatively tell about or describe a thing. Okay. Now, if you are talking about a bird picture, okay, let it be apple. So how you can define apple?
Ma'am, as its color and its shape, as if it's fruit, it's going on fruit
Okay.
category.
Yes, we are saying it is a fruit, but now there are so many fruits, right? So everything is a fruit when it comes to apple, orange, banana. So all these are fruits, right? Now again we have to tell apple is a fruit, but whether how apple is apple. So because apple has got a shape, apple has got a color, apple has got a different texture, apple has got its own smell. Okay, all these are perception, human perception, right? That's how we identify apple. By seeing it, by tasting it, by looking at it, we know that. By looking at it, we know the shape of the apple, color of the apple, and by tasting it, we know the taste of the apple, smell of the apple. Those are by human perspective, and those are the features for a human. But if it is a machine or it is a computer program, so it will use the color, it will use the shape. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, so samples. Samples means a sample is an item to process, or it can be a document, picture, sound, video, row in database, CSV file. So that means if I'm talking about a sample of a machine learning program, that means that is the object we are trying to process. If it is a image in machine learning, then it is image is our sample. If it is a signal, it will be a signal will be a sample. Okay, it could be a sound, it could be a picture, that's why it could be a video as well. So everything will be used as data is our sample. Okay, and feature vector, usually whenever the features will be now, so we'll make a row. Now suppose we are talking about a weather. Okay, it's a sunny weather. Okay, so how to describe a sunny weather? Imagination, use your imagination. Tell me how to describe a sunny weather using features. Think. All of you 7th semester, you
Clear
are almost
sky,
engineers. Yes.
clear sky, bright sun.
Clear sky. See, machine cannot see a clear sky. You think about it. Think about
The
that
temperature
first.
is temperature will be high.
Yes, temperature. Then
Light, quality of light.
yes, quality of light, or you can say luminance. Then second,
Humidity,
humidity, right? Then it could be wind speed. It could be wind speed, right? Okay. So sunny weather has got so many aspects. We can use those values. So temperature will have a value, humidity will have a value, and those values we can put in a vector. Vector is a what? It's an array. Okay, it's a simply an array, a column array. So we'll keep all those data in a single row and say if these are the things and this is the sunny weather, and if it is a humid weather, we will put accordingly, the values will change. So that means each feature vector will be different from other feature vector if the object is different or the samples are different from each other. Okay. And feature extraction. So feature extraction means it could be however a lot of features. Okay, when we are talking about image, it usually represented with a lot of feature, but there are some essential feature which are enough to define that picture. Have you thought about a face? How you recognize a face? How can you recognize a face? Yes, how you recognize a face? When you see a face, how you know that this is a face of your friend? And the friend named X, Y, Z. How X is different from Y?
Othira, Akash and others, you have done one project in the last semester based on face recognition. Why you are an old dancer?
Ma'am, by looking their eyes, nose, lips.
Okay, so when your face is an input, the features which are dominant features of a human face are eyebrows, lips, nose, and eyes. Okay, so the machine usually learn from these features to recognize a face. So that means you are giving input the whole face, but the dominant features are the eyebrow portion, the eyes portion, the nose portion, the lip portion. So that means those features are essential and other features are redundant. Okay, or we really don't need it. So that means from a high dimension space, there are so many features, but we are only requiring some of the features to make it distinct. So in that cases, we do feature extraction. Okay, so we usually use only those features which are required and other features could be ignored. Okay, and this is done in many ways. Okay, so we usually say feature extraction so that the high dimensions feature vector will come to a lower dimension. So that is our feature extraction. Now training or evaluation set. Okay, so that means these are the training set. That means this is the data which will make the machine learn and establish the relationship between the object and the feature. Okay. So now we are thinking about this apple. Okay, we are talking about this apple, and a machine is learning what is an apple. So for this apple, it is reddish. It's a red color. It's a fruit. It's got a shape. And this one, again, it's a sky color, but it's not a real apple, but it's a logo and it's a it has got a different shade. And this apple is also yellow, and it comes under fruit, and it has got a different color. Okay, so all this, so we say that we will each picture so each will be given a label. Then the input has come, the different features will be extracted from it. Those features will be fed to a machine learning algorithm, and the machine algorithm will have a label. For each input, it is having a label with it. So when these features will be associated with a label, then this learning algorithm is learning about the inputs. Now, when a new input is given, after this training, we do a prediction. Now a new input is given, the features will be extracted, and those features will be given to the model. This model, using this machine learning algorithm, can easily assign the label to it. So it can always differentiate between the red apple, the yellow apple, and the blue apple using the features. Because it is already learned, the red color is a fruit apple, the blue color one is a loga apple, and the yellow color one is also an apple which comes in the fruit category. So the machine learning algorithm usually first trained, then after this training, they associate the feature with the label and then do a prediction using that training. Okay. Now, if we are talking about machine learning comes under 4 categories. The learnings are divided into 4 categories: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, semi-supervised learning, and reinforcement learning. So, any idea about this 4 types of learning?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So, if your layman point of view, what is a supervised learning?
Supervised means high level learning. You have to
Supervised
learn
means,
something deep. You have to learn something deep about this.
see, supervised learning means learning with a teacher. Simply learning with a teacher. So when a small child plays with a fire, will you leave whether the parent will leave the child with the fire or not? Yes or no?
No.
ଛାଡ଼ିଦବା ତାକୁ ଖେଳିବା ପାଇଁ ନିଆଁରେ?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am, no.
ନା
No, ma'am.
Okay. So ଯେତେବେଳେ ଛୁଆ try କରିବ fire ଟାକୁ ଛୁଇଁବା ପାଇଁ, the father will tell, do not touch it, it's hot, it can burn your hand. Okay. And the child learns it. And he do not dare to try to touch the fire. Then that is called supervised learning. Okay. But when the child won't listen and it plays on its own and touch the fire and burnt his finger, he learns that you should not touch the fire. That is unsupervised learning. Okay. Totally no one is present in the room. It is on his own, he is playing with the fire and he learned that he should not be touching the fire. Then it is unsupervised learning. Semi-supervised learning is the same cases, but the parent is present, he is telling no, but the child still touches it and feels the fire. And the father will tell, see, you shouldn't touch the fire. That is semi-supervised learning. Right? Do you understand? Supervised, unsupervised, and semi-supervised in a layman point of view.
Yes, ma'am.
Reinforcement
yes
learning.
ma'am.
Reinforcement learning is associated with feedback. If we are having a feedback system, we are trying to approach the result and we are always calculating the error. And that error is coming back to as a feedback, so that we'll try to minimize the error. Then it's called reinforcement learning. Anyway, we'll go to that. So when this supervised learning comes into That means the machine, there is a person who is going to tell, these are all these samples, these are raw data, okay? And they have to be classified. That means they should be sorted out. Circles should be circle, triangles should be triangle, rectangles should be rectangle, and they all should be separated from each other. Okay, so a person is going to tell this is a triangle, this is, if this is a blue color, this has got 4 sides, so, and this is the dimensions, then it will come to a, it will it will be treated as a square. So that means these features are given, labels are assigned, and the algorithm is using that label, categorizing them, then it's a supervised learning. Okay, and in supervised learning, the manual verification is also done. So we will see whether it is correctly classified or not. Once we are doing a training, then we are doing a testing. Okay, once we train, then we test. We test that whether actually it is doing a right classification or right recognition or not, and it is how much, if it is doing it, with how it is doing, or how much error, with how much error it's doing. Okay. Okay, what is the difference between error and accuracy?
The less will be the error, more will be the accuracy.
Less will be the error, more will be the accuracy. Okay, so if it is only measurement, that is approved. Okay, measurement, while you are measuring the things, we are saying accuracy is proportional to error, inversely proportional. We are minimizing the error, we are improving the accuracy. But in case of machine learning, the errors are 2 types. Okay, so it should correctly identify the thing it is trying to identify. That is one type of accuracy, and other one, it should not, and which suppose there are 2 category, A and B. A should be identified as A, and B object should be identified as B. Now, if I am identifying A as A, that is a one type accuracy. If I am identifying B as B, that is also another accuracy. If I am identifying A as B or B as A, then there error. Yes or no? So in machine learning, there are 2 types of accuracy and 2 types error are existing. That means misclassification and classification. Classification, 2 ways: correctly classifying and do the incorrect thing into incorrect class. And error, classifying the real thing as a wrong thing and wrong thing as a real thing. That is again 2 types of error. So machine learning, we use a confusion matrix to express what is our result. Okay. So unsupervised learning. So what is the technique? What is the technique we used in supervised learning? Any technique, machine learning technique, you know, which comes under supervised learning? Okay, tell me the names of the machine learning techniques you know.
Linear regression.
Yes. What else? Only linear regression, nothing else. There are so many popular techniques.
Regression, classification.
Classification is not a technique. Classification is the work or job to be achieved by using machine learning. Okay.
Clustering.
So I'm talking about the technique. Yes.
Ma'am,
Yes, what is it?
transfer learning.
Transfer learning is not a technique. Okay. It is a part of technique. So have you heard about SVM? Support vector machine?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So support vector machine is a popular supervised learning. Okay. Supervised learning, it's a training algorithm. What it will do, you give vector two classes, it can classify. Okay. Simply it will tell whether it belongs to this or that. So if you're talking about linear regression, what do you mean by linear regression? Any idea about linear regression?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, maybe in the next part. Okay, so remember, SVM supervised learning means training level is assigned and we are using the features of the data to assign it to a particular label. Then we are testing that whether it is, when we are again giving the test data using the same features, whether it can assign the right label to that data or not. Okay, like we have got a bird picture, we are giving a animal picture, we are giving a object picture, and we are making the machine learn about cars, and the object is a car. So that means when I'm giving a three type of picture as input, it should immediately learn that this is a car, and the other two it don't know. But if it will be learned with bird picture and it will be learned with animal picture, it is always can identify the animal picture, bird picture and the car picture separately, because it is already learning with a supervised learning, it is already assigned with a label. So that means for supervised learning, we always have to give a target, or we have to always provide the label of the output. On supervised learning, all the data will be given to the algorithm, and it will, from the raw data, it will decide which class. So it will analyze each object, and using its feature, it will try to categorize them. Okay. So it's like a kid is provided with different color balls, and it has been asked, it will be asked the person different color and different uh, colored objects, lot many colored objects, and it will be asked to separate the colors. Okay, all the object of different colors. So what it will do, it will use a perception. All the red things will be grouped, all the orange things will be grouped, all the black things will be grouped. So it will use the feature color to separate the things. If the toys, there are toys, and it will be asked that all the differentiate between the car toys. So now it won't use the color as a feature, rather it will use the shape of the object as a feature. Shape, four wheels, okay, the appearance. So it will try to pull out the car and make it a different stack. So unsupervised learning is something like that. It will use its own analysis to separate or group the objects or group the data. So which features are very near to each other will be assigned a single group, and others will, so that they will be all every time, each iteration. It is always a iterative algorithm. Each time it will do an iteration and try to make a group, and it will make sure that all the groups are far from each other. With farthest distance from each other with features, it will decide they are grouped into different category. So in that way, it is always again reviewed. It is always tested whether it is actually doing the proper classification or not. So clustering, have you heard about clustering? K means clustering. Okay, so clustering techniques are unsupervised learning. Okay, and they are usually used for feature extraction. So they usually sort the features in a descending or ascending order, and so that the algorithm can pick the first best features to for further classification. So this unsupervised learning clustering techniques are usually used for feature extraction part, and they are unsupervised. Now what is semi-supervised? Semi-supervised, first the clustering will be done, then it will be some input, some label input is also given, and then analysis will be done for the resulting model. Okay, so that is semi-supervised. It is going on. Reinforcement learning. Okay, reinforcement learning, when we are doing a learning and always taking back, we are taking a feedback, always taking a feedback from the environment to make the behavior more and more learned. Okay, that means it is usually use the machine, also the software agent, to learn the behavior from the feedback, of the environment. And once it is learned, it is do not stop there. Okay, usually our supervised, unsupervised, and semi-supervised learning, once the learning done, it is stopped there. Okay, it's not going to learn anymore. Whatever it is has been learned, that is only used for classification or other purpose. But in case of reinforcement learning, it keeps on learning. It is keeps on updating itself. Whenever a new data comes, a new feature is learned, it will be added to the network. Okay, so that is called reinforcement learning, and this CNN is an example of reinforcement learning. Okay, it takes huge data and learns and keep a lot of feature and trains the whatever the new data comes, it can easily identify. But the reinforcement learning can make is used to improve the CNN better and better. Okay. So there are two jobs is achieved using machine learning. One is classification and another is regression. Okay. So what do you mean by classification? You know it better now. What do you mean by classification? Classification means identify a cat as a cat or a boy as a boy. Okay. So that means putting output into a class or identifying or making an object getting into a class. Okay. Class means we are assigning the labels. The labels we are also talked it as the other term is a class, and we say this is the class and this is a class B. If this is the student, okay, so he should go to class A, or this is the person, then he should go to the class B. So in that way, we are classification means either it could be binary or it could be multi-class. Means if we are giving data and saying do a binary classification, it will do one task, whether yes or no, whether it is a cat or not. Whatever the object it will be given, it will only identify the cat and say it is a cat or it's not a cat. But if I will do a multi-class classification, it will identify whether it is a cat or a dog or a bird. It can always say whatever the picture is given, it can assign it is a cat or a dog or a bird. So that is classification. Okay. So what is a regression? Regression means predicting. Okay. Now what we will predict using machine learning? What could be predicted? Yes, what could be predicted? Sir, everyone is sleeping.
No, ma'am.
So I don't get any response. What about the regression? Tell me what is regression? I'm saying prediction. If it is prediction, what we are trying to predict? Okay, all of you watch cricket.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Nowadays in cricket screens, do you see there is a curve? When the batsman is going to bat, he's going to start batting. Okay, they will give a prediction for him from his past data. Okay, in that match he has done run score this, and continuously how his scoring is rising, in what type of matches, whether it's a one-day match or it's a test match, how was performance. Okay, and they predict that how he is going to perform today, or if he performs like this, what will be his score, or how is going to be his rating. Have you seen that?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you really seen that?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me how it shows in the image in the cricket match. How they show it? Can you describe in the screen? The screen ने केमसे देखा जाए सेटा?
Ma'am, really something.
So one rating curve ଦେଖାନ୍ତି ହେଲା ଗୋଟେ curve ଯିବ first past data ଗୋଟେ curve ଦେଖେଇବ ସେ curve data ର movement ଟା ଦେଖେଇବ whether it is rising or it could fall or could be maybe it is going to be straight line. So that means from the batman's previous performance, okay, they predict how he is going to perform in this match. Even they take into account what kind of weather he has performed, in what kind of condition he has performed. Okay, who was the opponent, who was the bowler he was performing against. So using all those data, they usually predict this batsman's new new scoring. Okay, a new rating could be possible. And that's how, that is called regression. The regression means prediction from the past output or past data. So in that case, where it is useful? It is useful in banking. Okay, so okay. First of all, classification, when we are talking about, do you have any idea about discrete or categorical variable? Categorical variable and number or continuous variable? In statistic, we use the samples, and the samples could be of different type. Okay, they could be discrete or categorical. When you are talking about categorical, you say that it's a house or it's a what kind of buildings. These are all buildings, but all these buildings could be have one category. It could be a house, it could be educational institute, it could be a hospital building. Okay, so those are the, even though they are all buildings, they have a distinct category of them. Okay, and we cannot express a categorical variable in numerical way. Can we? A categorical variable cannot be expressed in a numerical way, but we just assign it a label. Okay, so classification usually deals with this categorical variable, whereas regression is always deals with numericals. Okay, it could be house, it could be interest rate, it could be house, it could be loan, amount of loan could be given to a person, like his from his data, what he is working, where he is working, what is his past loan history. Okay, all this is taken and it could be assessed, the risk could be accessed and said that this much loan could be provided to this person. Okay, if he's asking for 5 lakhs, it will estimate and say that, okay, this person is eligible for 10 lakhs loan, the 5 lakhs loan could be easily given. But if he is asking for 10 lakhs, then again the 10 lakhs could be possible. But if he is asking for 20 lakhs, then he will be denied and said no, only 10 lakhs could be provided. So that number when we are talking about regression, we always talk about numbers or numericals. Okay. Now, what is the advantage of machine learning? Okay. So, learning and writing an algorithm, it is easy for a human brain, but it's a tough for a machine. So, it takes some time and good amount of training data for machine to accurately classify objects. Okay, the things we do easily, machine takes a lot of time to learn it. But when it comes to a difficult thing or difficult interpretation, the machine learning or the machine can do more better accuracy or better prediction than that of a human. We're talking about simple objects which we are trained to see, we cannot classify. But when it comes to a biomedical or it's a image data, where it's a so tumor data, a machine can, if it is well trained, it can always identify a tumor, but whereas a human eye can misclassify it or just could not identify it. Okay. Implementation and automation. So it is easy for a machine. Once learned, a machine can process 1 million images without any fatigue, but where human brain cannot. Once you make the machine learn, it can do the same thing without any irritation or any fatigue. But when you are talking about a person, he can identify what is a wrong image and a right image. But when you make him do for 1,000 images, he can irritated, he can do a wrong analysis. So in that way, we use advantage. Machine learning is as a advantage. So that's why we use machine learning with a big data. Now, what is a big data? Anybody? What is big data? All of us are now talking about big data, data science. So what is a big data? I don't know you people by name, otherwise I could have asked you by names. Okay. So let me randomly call Soumya Samaptika.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, what is a big data?
Ma'am, analysis of a very big
No, don't go to
data
analysis.
or
I'm
large
simply
data.
asking, if I say big data, what do you think, what kind of data it will be?
Ma'am, huge amount of data.
Yes, huge amount of data. When huge amount of data, where it could possible? Where the huge data are there?
Ma'am, maybe it's a database of people or some kind of things. Database of some organization or maybe something like that.
So any data we are using for analysis and huge in number, then it is a big data. So the data set is there. Suppose Google. Now everyone has a Google account. Okay. Now, have you received your timeline update? Have you ever received your timeline update from your Gmail in your Gmail? There is a mail comes. It will tell that, okay, you have visited this many places this month. Or are all of you keeping your phone off, GPS off? Usually we are, all of us are keeping our GPS on. Usually when we are using Ola or tracking a place, okay? Usually when we are using Ola, Uber and we are paying, it is tracking where we are going, okay? And usually our GPS is on with many other apps. So the Google is tracking where we are going and where we are visiting. So when one person is visiting so many places, it is keep tracking of the people with so many people who are having Gmail. So that means it is providing you with a big data. Like from the last database is only one problem it is solving, that tracking that person only. But when you are talking about Instagram, all of you use, I think most of you use Instagram, right? The Instagram, if you are taking so many pictures and uploading it, but suppose in Uttarakhand, there is a disaster in Uttarakhand, and maybe there are some people who are uploaded that picture of Uttarakhand, right? So every day there are millions of pictures getting loaded into Instagram, but identifying the disaster picture of Uttarakhand from those pictures is a task or not? It's a difficult task. And we are doing using a big data over there. It's a huge data from which we are trying to find data. So whenever the data set is very huge, we usually use big data, but big data is essentially very helpful doing analysis. So how many of you, if you're talking about a product, like how many of you like doing a survey of, let it be a, like suppose how many of you are going to watch IPL or how much IPL is popular? How you will guess? From where you can guess whether IPL is popular or whether the upcoming IPL is going to be watched by people or not? From
By
which?
survey.
Yes, which parameter? From which parameter you can guess? From which parameter you can guess whether the IPL game is going to be watched by so many people?
Ma'am, previous year prediction and
No, see, IPL game usually start will someday, but 15-20 days beforehand they will start advertising, right?
yes.
Then you know that the IPL match is going to start on so and so day. Okay. So after that also people usually search, okay, which when the schedule, what is the match schedule, okay, because that's how the popularity, on the popularity basis of the team you usually see, okay, when this team is going to perform. All these searches are give an indication for how many people are going to watch the game. Okay, so there are so many parameters they usually use to see whether they're going to watch it or not. Okay, so in that way, big data is useful for predictions, also for classification. So usually when we are talking about big data, is usually used for predictions. So these are the application of machine learning. If you say banking, telecom, retail, so identify who will be the prospective customers. Okay, so that means there possibly it could be possible if you advertise better, then we can get this many customers. Dissatisfied customer, using the feedback, using the customer ratings and dropping out of the customer, we can say how many customers are getting dissatisfied, who are good customers, who are bad payers of loan. Okay, so to obtain, by identifying these things, what we can obtain, it's more effective advertising, how to reduce the credit risk, how could you lower the fraud, okay, and decrease the churn rate. And same way in biomedical and biometric, so we can do a screening, we can do a diagnosis and prognosis, and do a drug discovery, and all this could be used for biomedical and biometrics. Then security purpose, face recognition, fingerprint verification, DNA fingerprinting. So the biometric is a very simple machine learning application nowadays used, okay, everyday use. Then there are computer internet, so it's troubleshooting wizards, handwriting and speech, brain waves. Have you seen these troubleshooting wizards in your system?
No, ma'am.
Why? What is that in Windows 10? It says, what is the name? Corona, or what is that? What is that? What is the name of that lady? Sam, I don't remember the name now. That's a assistant. Okay. So it will say, how can I help you? Then if you type, then it will, or it is also a voice-based assistance. If you tell, then it can help you. Sometimes you cannot find the camera, or it will say, okay, I can help you. I can do some internal troubleshooting. So those troubleshooting wizards are based on machine learning. When you try to do something, there is an error message appears. Using that error message, a troubleshooting wizard appears. Okay. And brainwaves, that means is used for thinking and deciding whether the people would like it or not. Okay. And internet we do a hit ranking, spam filtering. If you say your Google Mail, previously when we used to have a Google Mail, when a spam mail comes, we used to send it to spam on our own. But after a few days, after a few improvement of 1 or 2 years, it started sending the spam by itself. Nowadays, it is sending the spams by on its own. It will simply know it is advertising mail, just simple send it to spam, or it will also send it to advertisement mail. So those are filtering. The automatic filtering is done by Google on its own. Text categorization, text translation, recommendation. When you see you type in the mobile, you are trying to type a word, it will predict what is the word you could type. Usually it predicts for you. Okay. So that is the recommendation. Text recommendation. While writing a mail also, it will give you a recommendation. By judging from your topic, it will try to recommend what you are going to write. So those are the application of machine learning. Okay. So this is about machine learning. So CNN is again a subset of machine learning, and that too reinforcement learning. So if you want to start with machine learning, you have to go, whether you want to code in Python or MATLAB, there are some free codings are there, but you do it categorically. Go for some machine learning techniques, or you can just use there is a Simply Learn YouTube tutorial is there. It's a very good one if you want to hear, and it is also giving you the implementation, Python implementation of this learning as basic learning algorithms. So if you see that, it will be much more beneficial. Okay. So is there any question you would like to ask? So practical learning and talking about machine learning is different, but implementing the algorithm is different. So there are codes are available, and those codes you can, and with data sets they are also available. If you seriously want to learn machine learning, use those data set, run those codes and see how it is working. And look at the already codes are available, but you have to learn the technique so that you can change the code to work according to your data set or your data. Okay. So yes, any question?